Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. Here around the chutes, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Helen, welcoming a Texas legend to the podcast here at Texas Toast. I'm just going to jump right in. Hello, Cory Morrow. How are you?
Well, Helen, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I am so anxious to talk to you, and I'm all over the place because we have so many things in common with you being from the Houston area and then me watching you evolve with your music. So I just kind of want to back up. Of course, you're a native of Houston, big Houston Astros fan like I am.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you took it to Texas Tech, and I guess that was kind of the transition into music when you were at Texas Tech.
Yes, that was really the transition from not really knowing what I wanted to do to kind of having an inkling of an idea of what I wanted to do. I started learning music. I guess I was in junior high, started playing the trumpet, and then not too far from there, when I was about 14 or 15, I got a guitar and started taking lessons in high school.
Yeah, I know. In case people, let's go ahead and go through your first guitar story. That's an interesting one.
Oh, how I got my first guitar?
Yes.
That's a good one. So my stepdad and my mom were down in Mexico, and they'd gone to the deer lease, and they would go down across the border, do some shopping and stuff and eat. And they were shopping around and they saw this guitar, and I think the guitar was like $20. And so my stepdad, he's kind of a gambler and a wheeler dealer. So he walked up to the guy and he said, "I'll give you $10 for it." And the guy said, "No, it's 20. And he said, "Okay, I'll give you 15. And he said, "No, it's 20. And my stepdad looked at him. He said, "You don't know how to do this, do you?" And the guy said, "It's 20. He said, "I'll tell you what." He put $40 down on the table. And he said, "I'll flip this coin. You call it. If it lands on what you call it, you keep the $40 in the guitar. If it doesn't, I keep the $40 in the guitar." So, "Are you gambling, man?" And the guy said, "Yeah, okay, I'll take it." So my stepdad flipped it. The guy called heads. It landed on tails. My stepdad took the $40 and the guitar, walked out, and then gave the guitar to my mom and walked back into the store and laid down $10 on the table and said, "This is what I wanted to pay for it." So he was trying to make it right.
I love that story. That story is amazing. So you had your first album come out in 1998, and things were a lot different in Texas music then. But what I really want to dig into is that you were in the thick of the development of Texas music, which turned into the Texas Music Revolution, the Texas Music Movement. You know, we ultimately ended up with the Texas Music Chart. You were in the beginning of that. And so all of you were kind of bubbling together and coming up. I know that you were, you know, Robert Earl Keen was in the picture, Ray Wiley Hubbard, but then all of a sudden you and Kevin Fowler, Pat Green, Jack Ingram. I mean, our minds were just exploding in the radio world.
Sorry, I'm getting my stance.
I love it.
Bring the top of my head here. I'm holding the phone up. I'm getting a workout while I'm holding the phone. I can use my hands now.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, you know, it was so our heroes when we first got started were Robert Earl Keen and Jack Ingram, Jerry Jeff Walker, Willie Nelson.
Yes.
And I threw Jack Ingram in the midst of those guys because at that time he was just getting started, and he was kind of our age, and he had done sort of the same path that we had. High school, college, and started playing music with his fraternity and through the sororities. And so that was kind of like, there was an avenue there for guys that were our age that like to play guitar and sing and hang out with their friends. And he started writing stuff that we could relate to. And we thought it was really, really good. And we thought that it was I don't know, it felt like something that maybe we could give it a shot too, because he's our age and he's just a normal kid, just writing about his feelings, playing a few chords on the guitar and singing his heart out. And we thought we'd give it a try. And so it was kind of the inspiration really laid out there. And Robert Earl was kind of, for us, was new and was singing stuff that was just, you know, his lyrics and the way that he used the English language was just, and always, and still is just an inspiration. You know, it's just he's sort of the height of the ability that we all wanted to get to. And so it was really amazing and I met Pat at college. And so he and I kind of decided we wanted to do this sort of at the same time. And then Roger was there, and Kevin was there, and Reckless Kelly came onto the scene, and the Jason Bolin and the guys from Oklahoma, Cody Canada, and all this. There was just so much music just springing up all at the same time. It was insane. It was just like we sort of had this giant group of friends all of a sudden that were all trying to do the same thing and hit these new markets and find new fan bases. It was incredible.
And that's what I loved about it, was in just seeing it evolve in the beginning. And of course, what we were doing in radio at the time was we were already going to some of the small shows. Like some of us would come back from Hill Country or wherever, and it's like, okay, did you hear this? I mean, it was like we had to school ourselves and educate ourselves. And distribution was different back then. We couldn't just go on iTunes. And it was so exciting because when you would go to the shows, that's when you would buy the CD.
Yep.
And that's how it would happen. And then on the other hand, along comes Shane Media and sets up the Texas Country Magazine and the chart. And that was also, back then, we depended on that particular, when that information would come in and we would get that box to take out to our events. I mean, we're reading it cover to cover. But it's just so exciting to talk to you and about how far we've come from when you guys worked so hard to start what we have today.
Well, you're kind to say that, it's kind of you to say that. We feel honored and blessed to be included in all of that. And it was just I call it divinely serendipitous that we were all there at the same time and trying to do just something that we just loved it. We loved music. We love music. And that's where it all got started from. And God, the Shane Media folks, and there's so many people that were involved. There were folks with Smith Music and Billy Bob's and putting out live records, and all these things just sort of started happening. And man, it was just a beautiful powder keg of music and so much inspiration, and everybody leaned on each other and everybody supported each other. We all went to each other's shows. We opened up for each other. We wrote with each other, and it's still all there. Like, I'm still friends with all these guys. I'm going to do a show tomorrow night in San Antonio with Kevin Fowler and Jack Ingram and Colby Cooper and Mike Ryan. And it's a really beautiful thing that we get to do this, that I'm 25 years into doing it. And it still makes my living, and I still love it. And that's really the neatest, most amazing part of it, is that I still love picking my guitar up and either playing on a big stage or around a campfire for a bunch of total strangers at a hunt or something like that. I love it. I love people, and I love being able to just share my story and my life with other people through the music that we write.
Yes. And, that was one of the things I had noted also, because that was a big deal, the Live from Billy Bob CDs that would come out. That was another thing I couldn't wait to get at the radio station, because you were a part of that group that we would be getting those in. And that was just, those were just so amazing. And I wish I still had them. I don't know.
Well,
I used to try to.
We can get you ours. Well, the CDs, like you said, the CDs were such a, that you're right. You waited for that to come out, and then people we'd have the CD release parties at Hastings and Walmart.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
And it was just like people would line up outside, and you felt like a superstar, and you felt this amazing amount of love coming from all these people, and it was such a cool and amazing feeling. And there's still that there, but there's something about having that product to sell at the table, and to be able to have that for folks. That they were waiting for it to come out, and they would read the liner notes, and they would read the lyrics.
Exactly.
They'd read your thank yous, and you got to put your personal messages on all these things. And so everything was so, it was just different, but it's definitely amazing that we still get to do it. And the widget that we sell, not a CD, we sell LPs, and it's going backwards. So it's coming full circle. We're selling vinyl. And that's cool, because we never did that before either. So there's a nice turn of
cool.
events here. Yeah.
Yes.
But man, the live shows and recording the live shows and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's been an amazing ride. And I'm blown away that we're continuing, it's still happening. and we still have a good group core fan base that loves the new stuff that we put out. So we go to the shows and we play the old stuff and we love it, and we also play them the new stuff, and we, like I said, we walk through our lives with them, and we're sharing life together through this music. And so it's really neat to have folks that have been with us for 25 years to talk to about the changes in life and the changes in our atmospheres and the changes in the world, and then the change in the music relative to all of it as it's happening, and to have them go along the journey with us. And they get excited about our new music that comes out because they want to hear about what stage in life we're in. You know, like right now I'm at the stage where I've got 5 little kids and an amazing wife and 2 dogs, and we're putting on air shows and car shows, and we're talking about the Lord, and we're trying to raise these kids and continue to play in honky tonks and bars.
And that was the one thing I was going to bring up too. You have 5. You have 5 precious
I do.
ones.
5 precious. Yeah, that's right. Yep. They're 10, 9, 7, 7, and 4.
And you have twins included in that, because I remember when the twins were born.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Yeah, 4 little boys and a little girl, and that's been an amazing change in life. And you know, that's something I always hoped that I'd have, is to be a dad, and that's been an incredible. This is an incredible part of my life. This stage right now, this season, this journey. I say it a lot, and I really do it a lot. Just come home and get down on my knees and start playing with them, so that I don't miss, you know, these years.
Right. So one thing I wanted to mention too is I couldn't believe, because this was another project that was very exciting when you and Pat Green did the songs we wish we'd written, and 20th anniversary last year.
Right.
On that project. Wow.
I know, you're making me feel old.
But it went by fast. It doesn't seem like it. We're all still young.
Yeah, I know it. It's crazy. It was the first year we did the Steamboat Music Fest, and making that record, and there's so many things have happened in that time frame, and it's been great.
Okay, let's go down memory lane with some of the songs. Of course, you know, Texas Time Traveling, Nashville Blues, Big City Strippers, some of the first ones you threw at us. But there's one in particular I want to talk to you about, because after we got it into radio, I did the morning show, and I had to, like, it's going to get played during my show every day. And I still, like, if this song comes up in my library, I make everybody be quiet, and then I sing it real loud, and I can't sing. But Old With You is, I absolutely love that song. And I know you've got, I mean, there's so many, I love all of them, but Old With You just would always make my morning. If I needed a pick me up, I was going to throw that in there.
You're awesome. Thank you. Well, my wife is the inspiration for that one. I feel like all my best stuff that's my favorite stuff is the newer stuff since I met her. She's been my muse and my inspiration, you know, while I'm here. But yeah, that one, actually, we kind of stole the idea from an Adam Sandler movie, The Wedding Singer. And he had a version of a song that he wrote that's I Want to Grow Old With You. And I thought, I'm just going to change that first word and make our own. But yeah, that one just speaks a lot to the way that I feel about the whole thing. And, you know, we're going to get old, and I don't want to go it alone, and doing it with her and raising these kids together and holding hands as we go through this journey together is an amazing thing. So I'm really glad you like that one.
Yeah. What's really bad is I'm to the point to where I'm driving 45 on the highway. Like, I'm the old folks. I'm the old folks driving. I live in a coastal town, and we'll go, let's go take our ride. Let's go run by the harbor. Let's go see who caught fish.
That's funny. That's the one line everybody gave me grief about. They're like, you don't do that. You're never going to do that. And I said, yeah. It's just called poetic license. I know I'm not ever going to do that, but that's the idea.
Yes, it happens. So many shows and so many places that you have played. Is there any particular venue or event or moment that you had when you played a show that really stands out for you? I know that's a hard question because you played so much, but is there anything in particular that was like, gosh, this was a moment?
You know, I got to be on stage with Willie Nelson and Pat several times. I got to be on stage with Robert Earl Keen and Lyle Lovett. And I got to share the stage with Tim McGraw. I've opened for Alabama and Chris Ledoux. I've been on the main stage at the Houston Rodeo with Pat Green, and then also by myself. And so those are all pretty much, you know, enormous. What's that? I already said that. You weren't listening. There's just, she said Robert Earl Keen. I said, I already said that one. There's just been so many of my heroes that I got to share the stage with. And that's really it. I mean, that's like the pinnacle of what we do. And, you know, I was thinking when you said a minute ago that there are so many songs. I remember when we first started, we were playing a place called Hang 'em High, and we were sort of the resident band. We were the built-in opener for every week's show. And I got to open for Merle Haggard, the Bellamy Brothers, Gary P. Nunn, Chris Wall, Jerry Jeff Walker. We had just this slew of artists, my heroes, come through. And my friend John Dixon and Mark Shaber were running the event, and they had me as the house band. So I got to play 60 minutes every Thursday night in front of these giant names in country music and my heroes. And so I got to open for all these guys. And I remember making a set list one night, and we're making a set list, and we got done with it. And I looked at it and I said, man, there's, 15 songs on here, and only 2 of them are my songs. The rest of them are covers. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, I can't wait for the day that there's 13 original songs on here, and we're trying to figure out which covers to put on here, and if we want to put any covers on there. And I remember my friend Ryan, who's our bass player at the time, he just looked at me, he smiled, and he goes, that's gonna be a good day. And it's happened. And it's I try not to ever forget that thought about how grateful we are and how long we've been able to do it, and what a blessing it is. I mean, I get to play and write music for a living, and then make a set list with all these songs that we wrote about our life, and share it with people. And that's what they want to hear. And they don't necessarily want to hear me play a cover song. And that's pretty cool. Nice turn of events.
Oh, I love that story. And that's what it's all about. But speaking of your shows, and that was kind of segues me into, because I was thinking, do you have any, like, how like athletes, like, especially because I'm a big baseball person, certain pitchers have certain rituals or processes they go through. Do you have anything prior to your shows, like, that's a consistent that I've got to do this before the show, or you just run with it?
I don't really have anything that's crazy religious, like things that I have to do. I've typically played barefoot when I'm full band. I'm kind of segueing out of that as I get older, but I don't know how much longer anybody's going to let me do that. I've been wearing boots on stage, and I think as long as I'm wearing boots, they don't give me as hard of a time. If I'm wearing tennis shoes, they want me out of my shoes and in my bare feet. So that's sort of a thing. We always say a prayer before we go on. I always gather everybody around. We say a prayer and give thanks, and just ask for him to lift us up and lift everybody else up. Usually I have a sugar-free Red Bull or 2 before we go on, because I don't drink or do drugs anymore. So that's sort of my pick me up before we hit the stage.
Right. So yeah, speaking of the rug, I was going to ask you if you still had the rug.
Oh yeah, we try to change that out at least once a year, because they can get pretty nasty. But yeah, yes. Definitely.
But I love that. I remember it was Brazoria County Fair. Yeah. Years back. I was so excited because Pat Green was playing, and I was doing the stage intros, and I was like, he was so sweet. He was kind of a few steps away, and I said, I get to stand on your rug. Like, I was so excited about that.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. That was a big deal to me.
Sacred ground right there.
Yes, absolutely. So what do you have in the future? What are you working on?
We're working on a new record. We've been doing a lot of co-writing. I went up to Nashville and wrote with some folks up there. I've called out a bunch of guys in the industry, my friends, Wade Bowen and Roger Krager and William Clark Green, and a bunch of folks that are outside of our genre. And I'm calling everybody I can, and just wanting to get together and talk about life and share a little bit and see if we can write a song together. Because it's time. It's been several years since we had a record, and there's been plenty that's gone on in my life since then. And so we're trying to put it all together into a new album. And so that's kind of the main focus right now, is getting some new music out to people before the end of the year. And other than that, we are raising these 5 kids, and we're actually working on writing a book. And so that's probably about a year and a half out, but the process has already begun. So it's in the making, and that's going to be really exciting because it's going to talk about just my life to date, the journey that I've been on, and specifically the last 10 years or so, finding my way and finding my faith, and getting myself straight, and what life looks like now as opposed to before, and just kind of giving the skinny, and just hopefully having a optimistic and bright viewpoint on what's next.
And another great thing for you, talking about, a new album coming out, working on new material, you have always kept it independent. You have your own record label.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's not necessarily by choice, but it's been what we have done. Yes. In the beginning, I know it's what we wanted, but then we have tried several times to reach out and make deals, and the deals just never were appealing enough to really want to change what we've got. And so there wasn't enough upside. And so we've been independent, and it's been working out for us splendidly. I mean, I don't think I'd change a thing unless somebody want to come along, just, throw a bunch of money at us, which nobody has a problem with, but we love the independent label freedom, to kind of do and say what we want to do and say, and when we want to do it.
I know we've covered a lot here, but one thing, since you are such a pillar and such a mainstay, and have been from the beginning of Texas music, we have a lot of young ones out there, a lot of great talent coming up in our Texas music and on the charts and putting out music. And since you're the man, you've been there from the beginning, what kind of advice do you give the younger artists that are coming up? And have you ever had a chance to mentor any of them?
Oh, I don't know if I'm a mentor to anybody. I'm honored to be in that room, but if anybody was to ask my opinion about what to do if you want to kind of get into this thing, and my opinion has always been, or my advice has always been, make sure that you love what you do enough to make $0 for the rest of your life, and that you would do it anyway if you weren't doing it for a living, and that learn your instrument well, and just tell the truth, and just make sure that you love it.
Yes, great advice. So before we wrap it up, I got to talk a little baseball. What do you think about the Astros? Are you going to be singing the national anthem anytime at Minute Maid this year? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm hoping so.
This lockout's killing me, though.
I'll go Astros, and as soon as I'm able, we will be in there.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us. It's an honor for me to be able to have this up close and personal time to talk to you and just, pick your brain about things. And thank you so much for all the music that you've put out. And thank you so much for just being the person that you are. It's just, you're all around, got it going on. And it's amazing to see what you've done over your career and follow you. It's just been an honor.
Bless you. Thank you for saying that. The honor has been mine today, and I appreciate everything you're saying. We're pretty grateful for what we do, and talking to people like you makes it that much more fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're excited about what's in the future. I can't wait for the new music, and thank you again so much, Cory Morrow.
She knew where I was from as she left. I dare to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home.